So I'm just logging into the Thor UVC software now. The normal modus of operation would be to leave the room, and then the tablet is connected to the Thor via an integrated Wi-Fi network. Logging into the software, begin new treatment, check the power cords in good condition and connected to the source, connect to the Thor UVC tower. The system will now interrogate and check that everything is okay and that the system can be authorized, and then it will do the self-checks that the system is available, the system check for calibration, mains power, the scanner's ready, and that no one else is attempting to use the device. And as you can hear, the system has just spoken that it's actually connected because there is a voice modulator on Thor. Simple reason is people respond better to voices than they do to alarms. You can add as many rooms as you want. You're normally generically located by, as you can see here, by location. We're going to do this. We're testing in the Chameleon facility here. We're testing in the test area, and the notes are that we're doing a FinCEN test. Simply press the next button. Choose your level of disinfection that you require. I'm going to go for medium. Check that there's no personnel in the treatment area, and check that all doors are closed and warning signs are in place. System will now begin to run its cycle, and as you can see, the feedback on the software is mirroring exactly what the tower itself is doing. The UVC tubes are now powering on, and they're powering on a pair-by-pair basis to reduce the burden upon the electrical power supply and prevent any harmonics. You can now see that the LiDAR is performing the first of its 3 scans. The little eyelid just opened on the dome. Now the tower will begin to raise, and it will raise to up to maximum of 2.2 meters or any point within. Depending upon the height of the room, there is an ultrasonic sensor on the top of the unit to ensure that it goes to the required height. And once the tower is raised, you can see that the upper scan will now begin. Those are the 2-dimensional scans that build the room map. Then we move to the 3rd scan, known as the clutter scan, where we actually tilt the LiDAR in a different direction and actually scan the furniture within the room. So now we're in the final set of lamps powering on. There we go. And now the clutter scan's complete, and the system will now generate the room map, which you can see just here. As the clutter scan's being finalized, now we have the room map. And this room map, we can rotate it around, as you can see there. We can move it around. We can also zoom in and zoom out. There we go. Now, the interesting thing is here, before I move on here, and how we calculate the dose and everything like that, is if we press this button just here, to the right of the room scan, you can now see the tables, you can see the chairs. Everything has been factored into the dose calculation to ensure that we're delivering the right amount of UVC dose into the room. Now, UVC dose is cumulative, it's intensity over time. And we know exactly what the intensity is. We know how much light our Thor UVC system generates. Now, what we do is we have the tablet perform all the calculations for the user. There's no user-based calculations. You simply take note of this blue area here. That's the area of terminal disinfection. And all you need to do is to grab the treatment radius bar here and just simply slide. And you will notice that the time, just here to the left-hand side, is automatically adjusting. Every time I make a change to the size of that treatment zone, that is running through a calculation of the distance to compensate for radiant inverse square law, where the intensity of the light falls off, but also it's running through calculations for how much furniture it is in that area. So once you've set your treatment time, all you simply have to do is to press confirm. And the system will now go into what we call the autonomous mode. It doesn't have to be supervised. Remember, there are PIR sensors. If anybody walks into the room, the system will power off immediately. So you do not need to directly supervise this system. You can set it running and leave it running and go and do something else. The system also tells you, as you can see at the bottom there, the treatment time and the completion time. So it tells you what time you need to come back to the system to deliver it or take it to the next room or the next area. It's a really, really easy, simple, accurate and effective way to calculate the UVC dose required for a room. The system will now go into countdown, and once the countdown's finished, the system will automatically lower. It will ensure that the lamps are kept on, even though the cycle is complete, to allow us for a healthy safety margin of deviation from the treatment time, but also to deliver a nice extra double dose to what is normally the dirtiest area of the room, which is the floor. And then you'll see that the lamps will begin to sequentially shut off once again, or extinguish, to minimize the burden and risk of harmonics to your power supply. Power supply is standard single-phase mains, just standard 220. This system will also run on 110 as well. So now you can see on the screen that the countdown's reached 0 and the tower is lowering. As the tower lowers, you can see that the lamps are still remaining on and powered on, and now you will see that they will begin, once the system is satisfied, all criteria has been met, they will begin to power off. And they power off pair by pair by pair. There we go. So now the system will tell me the exposure is complete, and next tells me I can re-enter the room. And the cycle is complete. And as you can see on the screen, we now simply say cycle complete, back to the home screen and on to the next area.